Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is George, but I go by the name Fishmonger Stories. But first things first, don't forget to subscribe. You see, when you subscribe, we tell you all these stories that entertain you, challenge you, transform you. It means the whole world to us. Please subscribe to Fishmonger Stories. As you enjoy the stories, like, leave a comment, and share the stories. Do I have some stories for you today? Are you ready for a story? If I say hadithi hadithi, you say hadithi njo. Hadithi hadithi, hadithi njo. Can I tell you a story? Paukwa pakawa sahani ya mchele. I say ina, you say out. Hopi you yaide, hopi you yaide, hopi you yaide. Look ama, open your eyes, look at me. Let me tell you a story. This story comes from my village. I've told you about my ancestral land of Mfangano Island. Mfangano Island is one of those many islands in Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is the second largest freshwater lake in the world. And so Mfangano Island for many years was very remote, being locked inside, deep inside Lake Victoria. And so we found ourselves most of the times growing without electricity or running water. Well, we didn't need running water. We had the lake. And so a lot of poverty and not being exposed to a lot of the modern day civilization and the things that people live with nowadays. If you were born and raised in Mfangano Island, chances are you went to a local primary school, you went to a local secondary or high school, and the only time that you got to leave the island was when you went to maybe a different secondary school, or you passed your exams and you went to the university outside in the city. The only time that you get to leave the island is when you take a boat, you go either to Mbita, Oma Bay or Sindo, and take a car. Yes. And so for some of us growing back in the village, they would call us, in French they say a pourdo, which means a villager, somebody who is not cultured, somebody who has not traveled, somebody who has not seen the finer things that life offers out there. But it didn't mean anything to us. We enjoyed our lives. We ate fish for breakfast, fish for lunch, fish for dinner, and fish for snacks. That is all we ever needed. If anything, they told us over and over again to eat fish, especially the head of the fish. They believed that if you ate the head of the fish, you'd become an engineer, yes. If you ate the head of the fish, you'd become a neurosurgeon, yes. If you ate the head of the fish, it would make you smart. You become a scientist. And so we indulge deeply in eating fish. Yes. Yes, we ate fish and we enjoyed it. We'd take the head of the fish, either fried or boiled. And ladies and gentlemen, the eyes of the fish, suck it out. The gel inside the eye of the fish. Yes. And then we'd open up the mouth of the fish. The gills. Yes, the gills of the fish, very delicious. Yes. And then when you go to what looks like the brain of the fish and you suck it out like, oh, it's delicious. It's so juicy. Yes. And so we believed to be some of the finest engineers. We believed some of the finest scientists came from the island. And we believed, attributed it to nothing but fish. Yes, the Fishmonger Stories comes to you from those depths, from those villages. And that is why I'm bringing you this story. So many of us grew up without even seeing a bicycle, or without seeing a motorbike, or without seeing a car for many years. And ladies and gentlemen, one of such people was a man named Mburumburuwati. Yes, Mburumburuwati was very smart. He went to the local primary school. He went to the local secondary school. And he passed with flying colors. This is a man who you could give him any book. All he had to do was read the book and he would teach you. If you gave him a chemistry book, he would read the chemistry book and he would lecture you in chemistry. In high school, you give him a physics book, he would read the physics book and teach you just by reading. He walked around with a big dictionary, speaking big words. Remember them days when we walked around with big physics textbook called Abbott? Yes, the book was thick. And that is how we used to walk in the village. We'd go from place to place in the marketplace carrying a big physics book called Abbott. Oh, sometimes we walked around with a dictionary looking for words, big words that nobody has ever used, to see how we can attenuate the usage of this word, just to make us feel good about using big vocabulary. Yes, the master of English word used big words that people have never heard. So you'd search long in the dictionary looking for big words that nobody's ever used and use it in the marketplace just to impress people. Amburu Mruati was that kind of person. Very impressive, using big words, bigger words than Patrick Lumumba. Yes, than PLO. This man was very, very smart. When he passed and he was supposed to go to university, yeah, he got a scholarship to go abroad. Yes, he was going overseas. Yes, to study his PhD. That's how smart he was. And so he put on his best suit. Everybody at home prayed for him and sent him and said, "Hey, Amburu Mruati, go and conquer the world. Please come back after you've conquered the world." And read PhD, which means pull heavens down. PhD, read till you pull the heavens down. PhD, pull the heavens down. And so the village, they blessed Amburu Mruati and said, "Amburu Mruati, go and read that PhD. Come back after you have pulled the heavens down and help us in the village." Amburu Mruati, he put on his best suit, went to Nairobi Airport, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, ready to go abroad, overseas, to study PhD in chemistry. Oh, Amburu Mruati, a man who had never left the village. Oh, here is Amburu Mruati, ready to go and conquer the world. PhD, chemistry, very, very smart man. Nothing he could not handle. Amburu Mruati got on his plane. Back in the day, Pan American Airlines. Back in the day, they served a lot of food when you flew with them. And so Amburu Mruati, he sat in the middle row seat. Someone was sitting next to him on the right and someone was sitting next to him on the left. And so Amburu Mruati, they brought some light snacks and he said, "Oh, my ticket was very expensive. I paid for this food. I'm going to eat." He ate everything in his plate. And after a few hours, they brought the main course. "Hey, Amburu Mruati, he paid for this ticket. He said, I paid a lot of money. I'm going to eat everything in this plate." He ate everything in his plate. And after a while, they brought some coffee and little light snacks. Amburu Mruati, he said, "I paid for this food. I'm going to eat everything." He ate everything in his plate. Oh, and the flight was luxurious. And then a few hours before they landed, they would bring, Pan Am Airlines used to bring like a small bag, like a concierge bag with, some maybe toothpaste, toothbrush, some cheese, crackers in there, something that you take as a souvenir from the great majestic Lufthansa, or the great majestic Pan Am America, or the great, whatever flight that you used back in the day. And so they gave everybody a little concierge bag. Yeah, they brought it and set it right there in front of you. And Ochieng Amburu Mruati said, "Hey, I paid for this ticket. What is inside here?" So he opened his concierge bag. He unzipped it. He looked inside. Oh, he saw a toothbrush, he saw toothpaste, he saw some crackers, he saw some cheese, and he saw a few things. He threw in his mouth. delicious. He saw something else. It opened it. He threw it in his mouth and he started to chew it. This thing did not taste like food. He tried to chew it, but he couldn't chew it. Can you guess what it was? This thing was a piece of soap. Yes, they gave you a piece of soap. A little piece of soap as a souvenir. So this Ambulumburuati, he threw the soap in his mouth. But he could not swallow it. And he could not quickly get out from the middle aisle to the bathroom. So what was this brother going to do? He was foaming in his mouth. So foam was almost coming out of his nostril and his ears. What was Ambulumburuati going to do? A smart brother caught in such a situation. Very smart. We nicknamed him Professor Adebayo Adedeji, a Nigerian scholar. He was nicknamed Adebayo Adedeji because he was so smart. What was Professor Ambulumburuati Adebayo Adedeji going to do with soap in his mouth? Adebayo, he opened the inside of his coat and he spit in his jacket. He's trying to look distinguished. He has eyes bulging out. He has, excuse me, Adebayo eyes bloodshot red after eating soap in the Pan Am Airlines. Yes, our professor, Adebayo Adedeji Ambulumburuati, ate soap on the plane going overseas to do PhD. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter what, this brother still had his dignity. Tell you what, no matter where you go, if you know who you are, whether you eat soap or not, you know who you are. What matters is what's up here. That is what matters. Today, Ambulumburuati, he went, he did his PhD, he came back, and is now a big professor back home in Kenya, teaching chemistry, teaching physics, teaching anything that you want him to teach. He did not feel embarrassed because he ate soap. No, he knew what is important is here, not what is inside your mouth or what you spit inside your jacket. Ladies and gentlemen, Fishmonger Stories. What is important is up here, not what you eat or what you spit inside your jacket. This is the story of Ambulumburuati, the man who ate soap. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for enjoying Fishmonger Stories.